Without the use of calculator, we are asked to simplify this. 16 to the power of 6 can be written as 16 to the power of 5 plus 1, which subtracts 16 raised to the power of 5. Now, recall the law of exponent that says a raised to power m plus n is equals to a raised to power m multiply a raised to power n. Applying this law of exponent to the above equation, we will now have 16 raised to power 15 multiply 16 raised to power 1, which is equals to 16 raised to power 5. The next thing to do is for us to factorize this, because you can see that we have 16 raised to power 15 here. We also have 6. If we apply this law of exponent to the above expression, we are going to have 16 raised to power 5 multiply 16 raised to power 1 subtract 16 raised to power 5. The next thing to do is to factorize, because as you can see that we have 16 raised to power 5 here, and we also have 16 raised to power 5 here. So we factorize, and when we do that, we have 16 raised to power 5 bracket open. When 16 raised to power 5 is being divided by 16 raised to power 1, we have 16. We subtract 16 raised to power 5, divide 16 raised to power 5 here will give us 1. So this is the factorized form. If this is the first time you are coming across my channel, you are highly welcome. Kindly click the subscription button, the notification bell for more amazing videos. Now, recall that 16 is equals to or the same thing as 2 raised to power 4. Let's check it out, because 2 multiplies 2 gives you 4, 4 multiplies 2 gives you 8, 8 multiplies 2 gives you 16. So 16 is equals to or the same thing as 2 raised to power 4. So I am going to replace this 16 raised to power 5 with this 2 raised to power 4. And if I do that, we are going to have 2 raised to power 4 or bracket 5, which multiplies 15, because 16 subtracts 1 gives you 15. Also, remember the exponent rule that says a raised to power m or raised to power bracket raised to power n is equals to a multiply m n. And if we apply this exponent rule here, we will now have 2 raised to power 4 multiply 5 bracket 15. And 2 raised to 4 multiply 5 is 20. So 2 raised to power 4 multiply 5 will give us 2 raised to power 20 bracket 15. Also, know that 20 can be represented as 10 multiply 2. If we have this in our mind, we now have this expression to be 2 raised to power 10 multiply 2 or bracket 15. Also, recall the law of exponent that also said that when a raised to power m multiply n is equals to a raised to power mn. If we apply this exponent rule here, we will have 2 raised to power 10 multiply or raised to the power of 2 multiply 15, which will give us 2 raised to power 5 plus 5 or bracket and raised to power 2, which multiplies 15. Applying the law of exponents here, this can be expressed as power 5 multiply 2 raised to power 5 bracket raised to power 2 multiply 15. Now, recall that 2 raised to power 5 is the same thing or is equals to 32. Let's find out. That means 2 multiply 2 2 multiply 2. If we solve this out, we have 2 multiplies 2, 4 multiplies 2, 8, 8 multiplies 2, 16 multiplies 2 to give us 32. So this is correct. That's 2 raised to power 5 is equals to 32. So if we solve, we now have 32 multiply 32 all squared multiply 15. getting easier and easier because we are asked not to use calculator. Also, remember that 32 multiplies 32 is the same thing as 32 squared, right? Now we make use of our math trick. So if we multiply out this bracket, which says 32 multiplies 32, which is the same thing as 32 squared. So making use of our math trick, we solve out. So 2 squared is 4. You write it in two-digit number. We have 0, 4. 3 squared is 9. You write it in two-digit number. We have 0, 9. 6 multiplies 2 is 12. So we write it 12 here. Then we add up. And if we add, we have 4. We have 2. 9 adds to 1. We have 10 because here is 0. So 32 squared is the same thing as, you can make use of, you can press it out with your calculator to find out whether we got the right answer. But this is it. Therefore, we have 1024 squared multiply 15. We can also separate this to be, or we can separate this into 1000 plus 24, which multiplies 15. Recall that A plus B squared is equals to A squared plus 2AB plus B squared. We have A squared to be 1000 squared, which is 1 million, plus 2 multiply A plus B. A here is 1000. B here multiply B 24. That's it adds to, our B here is 24. Remember, this is squared. Our B here is 24 squared. Then multiply this 15. So if we solve out, we now have 1 million plus 1000 multiplied 24 will give us 24,000, multiplied 2 will give us 48,000, plus 24 squared. Making use of our math trick here, if we are not using use of any calculator, let's solve it out. 24 squared. So without using a calculator, because that's the instruction, we now solve it out. 4 squared gives us 16. 2 squared gives us 8. 4 squared gives us 16 in two-digit number by 10 plus is already. 2 squared gives us 4. We also write it in two-digit number. 2 multiplies 4 is 8. 8 times 2, or 8 multiplies 2 is 16. We write it here. If we add, we have 7 and we have 5 here. Therefore, the answer here is 576 multiply 15. This can be added to give us 1,048,576. If we check, if we add it, you will see it too. And this is the addition. The correct answer to is addition. Remember, it's multiplying 15. Now, note that this 15 can be written as 10 plus 5, right? That's if we add this 10 and 5, we will still have 15 here. Having this in mind, remember we are asked not to use calculator. So you need to multiply this 52 with this. And since we are not going to make use of calculator, we simplify this and make it as easy as possible for us to multiply. So 15 can be written as 10 plus 5. Therefore, we first of all use 10 to multiply this and also use 5 to multiply this and then add it together and we get our answer. Now, we can multiply this. That's 1,048,576. Then also remember that anything that you multiply with 10, you just add 0 at the end of that number. That's any number you multiply with 10, just add 0 at the end of that number, and that gives you your answer. So when 10 multiplies this, we now have 10, 4, 8, 5, 7, 6. Then we add 0 plus, when this number multiplies 5, we now have this. Let's solve it here. 1,048,576 multiply 5. We solve it. Multiply 6. We have 30. We write 0. Carry 3. When 7 multiply 5, we have 35. We write, remember our 3 here. We add this 3, making it 38. We write 8. Carry 3 again. When 5 multiplies 5, we have 25, plus this 3, we have 28. We write 8, carry 2. When 5 multiplies 8, we have 40. We add 2, we have 42. We write 2, carry 4. When 5 multiplies 4, we have 20, plus 4, we have 24. So we write 4, carry 2. When 5 multiplies 0, we have 0 plus the 2 that is remaining, we write 2 here. When 5 multiplies 1, we have 5. And this is our answer. So we now add it here. 5, 2, 4, 2, 8, 8, 0. So let's add. Remember, we are asked not to use calculator. That's why we are making use of this long addition. So if we add, we have this to be 0. That 0 adds to 0. When 6 adds to 8, we have 14. We write 4 and carry 1. When 8 adds to 7 plus the 1, we have 16. We write 6 and have carry 1. When 5 adds to 2, we have 7 plus the 1, we write 8. When 8 adds to 4, we have 12. Write 12, 2, carry 1. When 4 adds to 2, we have 6 plus 1, we have 7. Now, when 0 adds to 5, we still have 5. Then we bring down this 1. And this is our final answer. So without using a calculator, when 16 raised to power 6 subtract 16 raised to power 5, our answer will be this. Let's separate it. That's 15 million. Therefore, when 16 raised to power 6 subtract 16 raised to power 5, the answer will now be 15,728,640. And this is our answer. Thank you. Thank you for joining us. And remember to subscribe, comment,